Back again. So I want to talk a little bit about the concept of process control. I've been promising all week that we would get here, and we finally arrived. Um, Specifically, I'm going to talk a little bit about everything, but specifically, I want to talk about scorekeeping. Um, and then we'll, as usual, let's just get that down there. We will be talking about how to put that into practice later on. Just right now, I want to conceptually discuss this with you. So far, last week we created our vision, right? We created our 12-week plan. We had a vision, and out of that we created our 12-week plan, and out of that we created our weekly plan, and out of that we have can I keep talking like without stumbling? That would be really nice. Out of that, we choose what actions we do per day based on our weekly plan. And new actions are uncomfortable sometimes because by their very nature, they're new and we're not used to them. And change is difficult, right? No matter what, no matter how much you want it, it's hard. It's hard. But we're going to get a better result if we stay consistent, which actually goes back to something Kim Rodriguez was talking about this morning, being consistent, which is very important, right? And how do we stay consistent? Well, if we don't have the structure and environmental support, then our follow through is based on willpower. And while there are extremely strongly willed people out there, like us normal people, we need some environmental support. We need people around us to help us. And we need to put structures in place to help us when our willpower fails. I'm sure you all know, they've done tons of studies with willpower, and there is a factor in there, like you don't have an unlimited, you don't have an unlimited amount of willpower. You get a little bit. And you can practice and you can strengthen the muscle, and that's a good thing to do. And that's what I plan on doing. But unless you're my dad, who has the most willpower I've ever met in any individual, and that's something to really admire. That man is powered with will. But we can't rely on willpower because it's not gonna serve us all the time, right? Sometimes you can power through and sometimes you just can't, because we're human and that's what happens. But if you put tools in place and you can plan for it, you'll be more successful. They were talking in the 12-week year. Ooh, look, I did it. In the 12-week year, they talk about the study that they did about people who needed to make lifestyle changes or they're going to die, basically. Healthy choices, right? You are going to die if you don't do this. And they found that people without support, only 10% kept doing the right things that are going to keep them healthy. Whereas people who did have support, people who had groups of people that they could go and help each other out, keep each other accountable, 90%, 10% versus 90%. 90% of the people who had help in groups succeeded long-term in keeping to their healthy changes. So that tells you something, right? Kind of tells you. So we've talked about your plans and we're talking about your support, but let's discuss scoring. Because scoring, I know it's kind of harsh and you don't it's hard to face, right? You don't want to face your own failures, which is why you do it. But it's an indicator of your success. Just plain out. You can't know if you're succeeding. You can't You don't know what's not working. You don't know what's working if you're not keeping score, if you're not keeping track. Measuring your success is going to be what drives you, because you face it every day, right? You have to, if you have feedback, you know if you're being effective. And I don't know about you, but if I'm keeping score, it's like, I really need to do this. If I look at you need to look at your goals in the morning for the day, and you need to check it out at night, every night. Did I do this? And this is where your scorecard comes in, or at least for me. I'm kind of a wicked nerd, like wicked bad. I'm like a nerd. Like, so on most things I'm not organized, but on the things that like I know I'm going to be bad at, and I know, well, okay, now that right there, that's the problem, right? I know there are things that I'm going to be struggling with, and if they're important to me, I am very careful about how I plan them out, because I don't feel like I have control otherwise. And then honestly, I don't. You don't. If you don't plan it out and you don't keep track and you don't, but for me, like, I look at what I'm doing in the morning and I look at what I'm doing at night, and if I don't have the checks, I made this like Google document, like actually it's the like Excel sheets, but it's not Excel, it's just Google, like a little database. I don't even, this is how much I work with these sorts of things, like a work page. It's a grid, and on one side you have what you're going to do, and on the other side you have your score. Personally, I then have like every day, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, blah, blah, blah. And then underneath it, I have like little check marks. So I highlight the days that, like, so if there's only like every day I have to keep my calorie count under 1,200, right? And I have the check marks in every single week and every single day to make sure that I do that. Did I do that today? And then every once in a while you've got things that you only do once, like, oh my goodness, excuse me, I'm drinking too much coffee. I don't really like coffee. I don't know why I drink it. I feel like it's a treat. I don't like it, but I feel like I'm depriving myself if I don't have it. It's weird. Oh God, I always lose track of what I'm talking about when I go off on little topics, tangents. What was I just talking about? I wish I could rewind this and find out. I need to focus. And I need to like exercise. I used to have the best memory ever. And it's not age, it's medication that I'm on, but that's something else we could talk about later. I was talking about driving execution. Oh, okay. So my score, right? So and then like, let's say I have just one thing that I'm doing, like call the doctor, right? And I just plan to do that on Tuesday. So it's really only Tuesday that I have a little checkbox. And so, I go through these every morning. Okay, this is what I have to accomplish. And then I go through them every night. And if I don't have a check mark, I feel, I'm not happy about it. So that's what I do. You can do whatever you want. You could just make a list and then cross them off. It's all up to you. It's completely your choice, completely your process, what works best for you. That's what works best for me, because I feel like I can handle it. I can handle this one task and a checkbox. I can handle that. So that's what I do. But I know it's like a cold, hard, like, it doesn't allow for excuses. It doesn't allow for distractions. It's like yes or no, check or empty box. But it is healthy and it's necessary. Helpful. Healthy. It's helpful and it's necessary. Without doing it, you don't know if you're making any progress, right? You don't know what you need to change to be more productive. And you don't know, I mean, it's like, it's impossible to hit your goals if you're not measuring them, because then you don't know how well you're doing. Excuse me. And also what it does is allow you to focus on actions and not results, right? You don't want to focus on the results because you have less control over them. You have control over whether or not you do the action, right? So I have control over how many calories I take in, and I have control over whether or not I go exercise for an hour or just take a walk around the pond a couple of times. I have control over that. In the end, as much as I would like to have control over how much weight I lose that week, those are the only things I can do to work towards my goals, right? And it provides, because of that, it provides a more accurate indication or predictor of the future. Like, you know that if you keep doing this, if I keep my calories under here and I keep exercising, I will lose weight. Maybe not as much as I would like, but it'll happen because I keep doing it. And there's consistency comes in. You need to keep doing it. So if you faithfully execute your tasks on a daily and weekly basis, you're sure to have success, you know? And this is also a reason it's the 12-week thing is better, because this way you're not thinking in like annually, you're not thinking in years, and years are so long, and you can always do, I can always do that next month. Well, no, you can't, because you've only got 12 weeks. And every day is important. So check out your day in the morning, see what it is you have to accomplish. Check it out, see what you did accomplish at night, and keep track. And that's all I can say about that. Boop.